Hello, are you my peer? This is the silhouette that was posted in the community. I was searching hard to find a motion where Cheolgu is really not visible, but the answer came out right away. The answer was Janggoan performing Cham. Cheolgu was really only hidden in the very first frames when Cham was activated. Janggoan is a high-performance character with strong mid-range zoning and firepower. From my perspective, it's easy to get good performance out of him even with low proficiency, so he's suitable for beginners. Since he can take control before the opponent even gets close, he can restrict the opponent's movements. Now, let's check out Janggoan, who's so scary that even Poppy next door would be intimidating if he played him. This is Myeongjuri A, who dominates the lane effortlessly. The attack box extends well beyond the hitbox and swings around, so even though it's just an arm thrust, its anti-air performance is insane. The long air stall frames make it hard for opponents to approach with jumps. It's not just a strong anti-air, it also excels at field control, making it very versatile. But if the opponent crouches, you can't hit them except for big characters. Compared to Myeongjuri A, its performance is much worse. That's close A. Honestly, even for a close light attack, its startup is pretty slow. You can also use it in combos by canceling into a special move. A major drawback is that if you're just a little bit farther away, far A comes out instead. If you land this kind of single hit during a combo opportunity, it feels really frustrating. So instead of using close A, you end up safely using standing B. Now, among Janggoan's basic moves, standing B has the fastest startup. Standing B, both close and far, have the same specs and animation, but because of close A's recognition range, you end up using it more often. You can also cancel it into specials, and compared to other light attacks, it gives the opponent more hit stun. Even if standing B hits from almost maximum range, you can still link it into a command grab. After a jump attack, you're usually farther away, so pressing A triggers the far version, right? So obviously using B increases combo stability. That's why you use A from far away and B when you're close. Just use B. If your A zoning tempo becomes predictable, try using far C sometimes. Its long reach and strong hitbox make it decent for mid-range zoning, but it starts 11 frames slower than A and has long recovery, so overusing it, even for zoning, puts you at significant risk. If your opponent lands a jump D, you'll get blown up instantly. This is the close C, a basic move with absolutely no redeeming qualities. Among close-range normals, it has the slowest startup, and on top of that, it doesn't have any particular advantages either. The hit advantage frames are the same as close A, and even though it has such ridiculously slow startup frames, you can't even cancel it. If you ever whiff it, the slow recovery frames will get you punished right away. It's also pretty much impossible to follow up with a combo after a jump-in attack. Like I said earlier, if you're close, just press B. Even if you think about using it from a distance once in a while, it's still far D, but compared to far C, it's hard to find a use for it. Compared to C, it has shorter reach and weaker hitbox. On top of that, its recovery frames are longer than C, and even on hit, you're at minus 11 frames. If it's blocked, you're at minus 13 frames. If you try to poke from a distance and get punished right away, that'll be you. Like I said, if you're far, use A. If you're close, use this kind of slap. Close D actually has a surprisingly long horizontal hitbox. If you use this well, it'll start making your opponent's head steam. Though it starts slowly, it has various uses. Since it can be canceled, you can use it to connect combos. After a full jump attack, it's hard to connect unless you hit it really low. This move helps with the mind games after Janggoan's empty jump. If the opponent gets caught by an empty jump throw, they'll have a lot to think about. That's right. Then, to avoid this, they might usually try something like a back jump, but Janggoan's close D can shoot that down right away. When using close D, press the forward direction key at the same time. The reason is that the opponent might walk backward without jumping, so you want to naturally connect it to a regular D throw. So far, Janggoan's patterns already include command throw, regular D, and D throw. 3 options. However, the regular D has a high attack hitbox, so if the opponent crouches, they'll get hit. But usually, opponents are too afraid of the command throw to just crouch, right? Additionally, when using God Cancel Roll in the corner, catching with D is also an option. Instead of just using A and C, you can use C and D to make your tempo even sharper. Even with slow startup, you can air cancel into it, and its hitbox is great. Whether spinning or throwing the iron ball, repeatedly canceling into it stops opponents from approaching recklessly. And because it looks unexpectedly slow, sometimes the opponent will try to rush in and punish you, but you can counter them and easily deal big damage. The best way to start spinning the iron ball is with crouching A. Because, as the guys watching this know, spinning the iron ball is a rapid input move. To activate the punch iron ball spin, you have to press punch 4 times in a short period. When you input crouching A, that's counted as them, so you only need to press it 3 more times. You could use crouching A for combos instead of standing B, but standing B has better reach in startup frames, so unless you're spinning the iron ball, I don't recommend it. Crouching B lets Janggoan land a low combo, even if it feels awkward. The motion looks cute for his size, but using it as a surprise can really throw off your opponent. Because, as you can see right now, this is because you can cancel and link moves together. Because of this, Janggoan's short hop mind games become trickier, and landing one forces the opponent into a tough guessing game. Adding command grabs, crouching close D, and regular D throws makes it even harder for your opponent to predict. This crouching C lifts Cheolgu and has a wild hitbox, making it a fast and effective anti-air. Unless your move is really strong, it's hard to find a way to get through Cheolg. It's only 1 frame faster than close D, so it's still slow. Luckily, it can be canceled, but if you use crouching C up close and don't cancel, you'll get punished. If you fail to cancel, even on hit, you're at a 16 frame disadvantage, and even if it's blocked, you're at 10 frames. If you're not confident in your cancels, it's a basic move you should just seal away. Keep that in mind. Now, this is Janggoan's crouching D, which currently boasts the longest reach. It's fine whether it hits or is blocked, because just like crouching C, it's a basic move that can even be used for combos. Don't use this up close. Since it's never blocked, use it from a distance. Like crouching C, it forces a cancel, but has the longest recovery of Janggoan's basic moves. Even when blocked, you're at a 16 or 17 frame disadvantage and will get punished if you don't act. There's little reason to use it, but against friends who expect it, a command grab cancel can work. Now, this is Jump M, which guarantees solid performance in air-to-air situations. It activates very quickly, and its hitbox is also highly specialized for air-to-air. Using it while fleeing to tease your opponent is very effective. They'll get annoyed. If they don't realize how strong the move is, they'll just think you're messing with them. But honestly, for escaping, Jump D is much better. Jump B is a basic move for beginners, used when it's hard to link because Jump D is slow to activate. Even though it's easy to use, its hitbox is actually quite excellent. It has a hitbox that can easily break through basic upper attacks thrown out carelessly. The hit stun is decent too, so it's easy to follow up with a basic move after getting up. It's useful for attacking quickly and escaping in urgent situations. At times like this, use B instead of A to cause at least a little hit stun to your opponent. But for rushing, Jump D is definitely much better. It's a high grip Jump C from Janggoan. The startup is fast, and just looking at the hitbox, it shows the opponent how unfair it is. Even though it's a basic move, the damage is crazy. Landing a counter on a backstep is so strong, your opponent may not want to keep playing. However, it might miss opponents who are too close. Be careful about headbutting all day, even if it's hard. This is Jump D, which you use when you're too close to use Jump C. The hitbox is really well designed for rushing in. Even if you just hit at the tip without going in deep, the damage is good, and it's a basic move that makes things like Goro's headbutt useless. Since Jump D causes longer stun on the opponent, it's easier to combo. Just don't make the mistake of using C when you need to hit up close like this. The damage is so good that if you start with Jump D in max mode and land just 2 national grabs, you can end the game right away. Now, when all the generals have nothing else to do, they activate Jump C. Jump C is just as notorious as C Blow. It has a long reach and swinging motion, making it versatile for use anywhere, from ground to aerial battles. Even things like hitting the head are at least a plus counter, so there's not much risk. If you get a counter in the corner, it even allows for combos like this. The Greek flail you often see is just a toy compared to the real thing, Ola. Now, Janggoan's signature move, the Iron Ball Spin. It unfairly blocks attacks, but only he can use it effectively. You can cancel by pressing A, B, C, and D together, but use it carefully. Using this effectively reduces frame disadvantage. If your opponent is guarding, you never know when they'll stop, so because it becomes the starting point of the crazy corner mind games. By the way, do you know why it's called Dung Spear when you poke in the corner? If you use the big spinning tensile right after your opponent is hit, does Janggoan recover from stun before your opponent? Your opponent will get confused, unsure if you'll go for a low attack, a command grab, spin the iron ball, or use a basic throw. If they try to emergency escape, you can hit them with a command grab. If you hadn't used Tensile and just spun the iron ball, Janggoan would have lost. Alright, when activated, it has an auto guard function. It's the Iron Ball Crusher. Because it has long reach, it's suitable for mid-range zoning instead of using far C. When zoning, using it mainly with a CD cancel means its slow startup can let auto guard trigger and counter opponents who attack during activation. If you use it raw, even the swinging mace has an attack hitbox. Additionally, it can guard against all super moves. With the right timing, you can even pull off cool counters like this. Damage is now so high that low defense characters like Liu Bei struggle. Chizuru in the livestock barn background can be knocked out in one hit if you're not careful. This is Janggoan's Koehan Cheop, a move with no invincibility anywhere. Even when he jumps, it lacks invincibility frames. So it's really impossible to use this as anti-air, right? The difference between the B version and the D version is basically whether it knocks the opponent down. With B, even if it hits, you can't knock the opponent down, so people who know about the last hit just block D and punish Janggoan's big belly, and since the D version has a knockdown property, maybe it's usable. If the opponent techs, you just get punished right away. It's a useless move. You can use it for combos with certain heavy characters. Anyway, it's a grab move you absolutely need to use to maximize Janggoan's performance. The reach appears similar to Goro's. The damage is extremely high, and since it flops around for a while, it also causes mental harm. He uses short jumps or unexpected empty moves to go for grabs, and because of the nature of command grabs, it's really good at breaking through the opponent's defense. Thanks to this command grab, Janggoan can have the upper hand in mind games. If you overuse the same jump, you'll get punished, so be careful. At minimum, use Jump Shield to show your opponent your flail is dangerous. Then, use the other options I explained earlier to outplay your opponent. There are many ways to use the flail in various situations. You've likely been hit by some crazy combos due to delayed moves, right? First of all, this move has an invincibility window that's much longer than you might think, both before and after it activates. It can even ignore things like grabs and just power through them. Seriously, the invincibility on this move is insane. It's really long. The crazy part is, when the opponent guards, your hurt box disappears, so you don't even return to neutral and you can guard again quickly. People unaware of this felt unfairly targeted, including me, so you likely fell for simple mind games too. The invincibility lasts so long that, like Takuma's drop, it becomes useless even as an anti-air. If you get a hit in the corner and the standing B motion comes out, can you do the chunky Jugata? In max mode, if you land a hit and finish with the B motion, you can link Iron Ball Clash as a Jugata. I call it the chunky move. It's the Iron Ball Press, an ultra-fast invincible anti-air move. If you mess with a character who has meter, it's instantly chunky time. If you're lucky, you'll land a counter hit with this move, dealing brutal damage. For reference, the normal version is an overhead when coming down, which means you'll get hit if you block it crouching. The max version loses the overhead property, but gains a new landmine effect, so people who don't know might block it standing, get hit by the landmine, and think it's an unblockable. That's why for the max version, if your opponent blocks it crouching, they're safe. Also, if your opponent doesn't tech the fall, you can deal extra damage this way. Alright, I'll wrap up this video as we narrow down Omega Luke. He's a character who can do his part just by zoning with his True Commander version. Even if your own moves are slow, if you want to annoy your opponent, I really recommend True Commander. I explained some simple mind games in the video, but honestly, just focusing on zoning is still tough for your opponent. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and like. If you leave a comment, I read each and every one of them. Honestly, I make these videos for the fun of reading your comments, so please leave one.